Chapter 5. What's going on? Mamoru stood up defensively as he saw Diana and Steve approaching. Who's he? The young man moved in front of his girlfriend as if to shield her. This is Steve Trevor, Diana explained. She raised an eyebrow at the smug smile Steve was now exhibiting at Mamoru's reaction. He's just another protective boyfriend, Steve. Don't you get to swell head. Let me revel in being the intimidating one for once, okay? Diana rolled her eyes. Steve is my good friend, she told Mamoru, switching back to Japanese. Can I just take this moment here to say why I like pairing Diana up with Steve Trevor? And don't get me wrong, I love bisexual Diana. It kind of makes sense. She believes in free love, so I don't see her caring if she's dating a guy or a girl. I'm fine with that. But I'm saying why I prefer to ship her with Steve Trevor. And it's not just because I grew up with it. Okay, that's a little bit of it. The reason why I like shipping her with Steve, much like shipping Lois and Clark, is I like it when a superhero has a normal boyfriend or girlfriend. Because it kind of humanizes them for me. It kind of shows that they still care about humans. And it also helps make the world bigger. It doesn't make it feel like, oh, the MCU is only superheroes. Oh, the DCU is just only the Justice League. By having these outside characters, we get more of the outside feel of the human world. We get to see what it's like for the people down the street. When it's just, superheroes dating superheroes, it feels like it's now a close click. You gotta be this level of metahuman to be involved with somebody here. And I feel like that kind of takes it away and makes it feel disjointed. Thank you. So, you just told him. Mamoru had his hands kind of tightly to his side, his mouth a thin line. Diana leaned forward and whispered, I haven't told them anything. It's simply civilians I need to protect. Oh, Mamoru flushed a little. Alright, I'm just... I know. He nodded stoically. Wonder Woman could barely hold back a giggle. She could see what Makoto meant without him complimenting Sailor Moon. They were both painfully earnest in their own ways. She turned to Yusaki, who was still staring at her knees. How you doing, Sakina-san? She didn't look up. Her eyes were glassy and distant. She's not talking, Mamoru said, looking like he couldn't begin to comprehend the very concept. Diana couldn't help it. She laughed into her hand. Steve let out his personal peal of laughter, and Mamoru flushed heavily. What? Come on, Steve. You don't even know what he said, Diana chided. I could pick it up. His expression, though, he just looked so dumbfounded. Diana bobbled her head at the young man. I apologize. That was very rude. You just look like you don't think such a thing is even possible. I guess. Very well. Perhaps if I explain things, it will spark some conversation. Steve is here because the woman back in my country have been infected by Doctor's poison, and he wants to help make it right. I'm afraid I haven't been entirely as forthcoming as I should have been. She took it from the top. Isaki looked up to listen with wide eyes after a minute. Maru's mouth grew professionally threatening as she went on. You so told us from the beginning, Maru said. I know. I am very sorry. Diana bowed her head once more. So you think she'll come after Yusuko? Yes. What is her nickname? What? What you just called Sakina-san. Is that your nickname for her? Or what she prefers to be called in general? It's just mine. My nickname. He was practically flushing purple now, his fists clenched. That's very sweet. Don't make fun of me. I assure you I'm not. What are you doing to this poor kid, Diana? Steve hissed. I was simply commenting on his nickname for his girlfriend. It's adorable. Well, you should probably stop since you're clearly scarring him for life. Though I think it's cheering up to nickname me. Diana glanced to the side to see Yusagi barely holding back a smile. Do you have a nickname for him as well? Diana instantly seized the opportunity. She nodded, her cheeks glowing pink. Mama-chan. That's really cute. Thank you. Usagi wore Diana with a small smile. She scratched her head, hesitating. Well, it's not him. I'm Usagi-chan. You can call me that. Mamoru's eyes dived from Usagi to Diana, and he frowned slightly. Excuse me, he said, gesturing at Wonder Woman to walk with him a few feet so that he could be heard by the other two. He leaned towards her a little, whispering, I don't like this. I don't think I'm all right with you keeping things from us, but could you talk to Yusako about what's bothering her? Because, well, she's not willing to. I just want to make sure she stays safe. Diana nodded. Even her boyfriend thought she could reach this girl for some reason. Diana couldn't fathom why. Perhaps she had experience in diplomacy, but she was determined not to waste this trust. I'll do my best. She noticed Usagi watching them closely. Her eyes narrowed. Diana turned pointedly away from Amuro-san. Usagi-chan, is there a place you feel safe at? Somewhere you can go to relax? Usagi blinked. The arcade, I guess. Well, I'd like to see it. Let's go there to calm down and regroup. Usagi shook her head. We can't! Not with everything! We have to fight this poison person! Poison's girl is you. She utilizes myth as a weapon, and she's well aware you are the center of mythological power here. She can only properly hurt your friends if she has you, her greatest weapon. So the best way to protect your friends is to keep you calm and focused and away from her. We'll deal with the rest as the situation as it comes. But those infected women you were talking about. I owe it to them to see that Sailor Moon, allied to all women, is not used against them. I must not be used against them any further either. Usagi bowed her head. Her bangs shadowing the upper half of her face, her eyes seemed to recede into darkness. Fine. I guess all I can do in the end is to be protected. Mamoru started to say something to protest, but Diana rolled him over with a hearty, what you can do is utterly humiliate you at arcade games. What better way to hone our fighting prowess? Come on now. The Crown Arcade was a homey sort of place. A bright-eyed young man presiding over to keep order. He greeted Usagi enthusiastically and was flummoxed at her lukewarm response. Don't worry, she's just a bit glum. Mamoru explained to the man. The stiff politeness he usually adopted faded when he spoke to the apron-clad youth, so Diana surmised they were old friends. Is it because you're hanging around exotic women? He stole a glance at Diana, aware that her uncanny hearing would pick up his voice. You know Usagi-chan gets jealous easily. Honestly, when are you going to learn? Mamoru struck in response. She's Yusako's friend, not mine. Of course, Usagi-chan is friends with everyone. The boy approached Diana and greeted her warmly. Furuhata Mikoki. Pleased to meet you. Diana Prince. This is Steve Trevor. Diana nodded at the uncomfortable Steve. Are you from America? Steve is, and I spent a great time there. Please enjoy your stay in Japan, and let me know if you need anything. Thank you very much. Diana's eyes traveled after Usagi, whose feet seemed to have taken her automatically towards the Sailor V game, but she stopped with a pained expression and steered herself towards the racing games instead. Diana, Steve hissed, what am I supposed to do here? Just be patient, Diana whispered back. I'm worried about that as well, but she's hospitalized, right? We have to wait for the others to contact us. I believe the key to defeating poison lies with the girl. Steve was skeptical. Just talk to her boyfriend for me when I talk to her, all right? He doesn't like me, and we need to cooperate. Of course he likes you. He just won't admit it. No red-blooded straight male can resist your charms. Steve grumbled. Yes, well, I'm very sure his red blood pumps only from his girlfriend. Steve paused. You do realize that sounded disgusting, Diana? Amazons are experts at disgusting metaphors. I'll make more if you don't get the bonding. All right, all right. Diana smiled and headed towards Usagi. The girl started a game, but she was simply staring distantly at the screen as all the other cars raced ahead of her, her foot not even touching the gas pedal. As a side note, best Steve Trevor romance scene is from Batman Brave and the Bold, where Steve is excited to be saved by Diana. That's a waste of a coin, Diana said, sitting down in the attendant seat. Do you want to try against me? Usagi shook her head. I shouldn't be here. It's a lot of pressure, isn't it? Being the princess. You must feel like you're always the last one left. Everyone just has to go and die for you so you don't have to suffer alone. You don't know how that feels. Isagi stared at her. Let's race, shall we? Wonder Woman put her coin in. I'm a princess too, you know. I've watched my people die around me several times, and I'm always the survivor who has to pull them back from the brink of extinction. There have been times when I wanted to give it up. No, recently. I did think I gave it up for a while. What happened? Oh, lots of things. Not only did my people disintegrate, everyone rejected them, and they forgot who they were. I was so tired. Oh, great. Let's not reference Amazon's attack, please! I thought that this might be better for everyone if I just let them go. They didn't try to pull us back, only to be destroyed again. But really, I suppose I was just tired of the pressure and loneliness of bearing their burden. I hid from myself and lived under a false name, and I am supposed to be the spirit of truth. Looking at you now, I realize how selfish all that was. Maybe it's why the lasso didn't work as well. Wonder Woman puts down the gas pedal, but Sailor Moon was leaving her in the dust. But that's exactly what I feel like. Isagi trailed off, her car speeding up more and more. But you're not running away. What you don't realize, I think, is that your friends don't believe they're sacrificing for you at all. They love everything about what they do. That includes supporting you and making sure you survive to carry them on. What? Isagi turned to Wonder Woman, her car going out of control, allowed Diane to catch up a little. Your friend Mako-chan was the one who told me to talk to you, and all she could say about you was how strong you were, and how much you supported her, and allowed her to accept herself. She loves you, not because you're her princess, but because you're the unique woman who follows her own path and loves her unconditionally. I think that young man feels the same way. Isagi jerked a little. Her car crashed and regenerated, as she stared at Diana with wide eyes. Diana smiled and continued, the words coming easily. They do not see fighting for you, even dying for you, as a sacrifice because you are their center. The reason they insist on keeping you safe and throwing themselves in the path of danger for you is not because they want to suffer for you. They simply know that as long as you are alive, they have kept a part of who they are safe and allowed hope to live on. You carry all of them in their heart. As long as you live, they live, because their lives are eternally tied to yours. I believe as long as you remain, they will always be able to come back, and you'll always be able to save them. All you need to do is keep trying and keep living. I think I said something like that at the time. You're not gone, they're always with me. Isagi's knuckles went white around the controls. Diana didn't know what she meant by that time, but didn't seem fit to ask. I'm just not sure I'll always be strong enough. If I'm not, it's all over. Do you believe your friends will be strong enough? Oh, nobody's stronger than them. They're endlessly strong. Well then, it's lucky you carry all that strength. What? They are a part of you, remember, because you embrace them. You're the only one who believes you are strong. Your friends each believe in you, and that's because their strength is yours, and your strength is theirs. If you believe in your friends and their ability to create their future, then of course you believe in yourself and your ability. And that's why Sailor Moon, as both an individual and as the center of a collective of remarkable young heroes, is strong and will never lose. Isagi let go of the controls and her car spiraled to the wall once more. She put her hands over her heart. You're right. It's not about me. It's about believing in them, in our future. She closed her eyes and smiled. I haven't been myself, but you could show me the truth so easily. That's Diana-san's talent, isn't it? It's supposed to be. You should know yourself then. That must all be the same for you and your people. As long as you carry them in your hearts, you can't lose. If you believe in them, they'll always rise again. She gave Diana a radiant smile. Diana could instantly see why the others grouped around this girl. Thank you. No, thank you. I mean, just listening to you, you must care about me and my friends so much, even though we just met. You looked at all of us and paid attention, thought about us a lot. It makes me happy that you looked after us like that. Isaki was unconsciously leaning in, pumping her fists and enthusiastic her words. She was so earnest, even more so than Makoto had been. Diana found herself blushing. It was the least I could do, dragging you into my mess. Isagi frowned.
You're too hard on yourself.
Like you, as Makoto says.
But I sleep in class. My friends will tell you. You work really hard all the time. You still act like you're not a good princess.
Maybe it's because you're more human than me. Diana sped up her car, even though Usagi had long stopped competing.
Eh?
People are always telling me that I'm inhuman, not a real woman. That because I try too hard to do everything right, I become untouchable and unrelatable. Maybe that's why all these women...
But you're very touchable.
Eh? It was Diana's turn to say. Usagi patted her on the shoulder.
See? I just did. Also, aren't you related to your mama?
You know, I've been through plenty of bad Sailor Moon fanfics. But so far this and Arcade Striker have gotten Usagi perfect. Of all the Usagi-like things I've been wanting to see, saying that Usagi is saying that someone is very touchable and patting on their shoulder, that's her. That's not what... Diana broke into a peal of laughter. She lost her grips on the controls and her car crashed as well. Maybe we'll have something there, she gasped. Usagi didn't seem bothered by her reaction.
I think you're human like me, because you're trying really hard to do everything right. It's what people do. Mama talks like that as well. And my friends. Sometimes I get like that. But I generally can't stop eating and slacking off.
Well, there's nothing wrong.
So, you're so incredibly human. And also all truth. You got me to see the truth. We've only been telling the truth here, right? If you lost, you wouldn't be able to tell it,
Usagi said sagely. Diana shook her head. The girl made her self-pity and navel-gazing seem incredibly silly. Looking at her, she felt like everything would be okay somehow.
But you can't just know true things. You have to believe them. For instance, I know that even Raychan says that everyone knows that there's not really a rabbit on the moon. It's still true, because I believe...
Right. Diana's eyes widened. Truth and belief. That's it! You're a incredibly talented girl!
No, that's Ami-chan.
Usagi looked more confused than ever. Poison specializes in arcanobiology, the study of myth. Right now, there's a very fine line between the stuff of myth and reality. Belief can become truth, and truth is based on belief. Right now, Poison's targeting you, because you're the stuff of myth, made reality. So it wouldn't make sense the way she targets me is based on the same principle. She's found some way to tap into collective unconsciousness and replace truth with belief. Her belief. She's planning to write her own reality! Oh, I get it. Persona! I am thou, thou are I. You know, I so rarely get a chance to do a Persona gag lately. The woman who attacked me was just the test subjects. She could have found the tiniest shred of resentment within them and amplified it incredibly. Because it was based on true feelings, my Lasso would have had a hard time with it. But it should still have prevented any mental manipulation regardless, unless she used my tiny mythology to burn the lines of truth collectively. How could she have done that is the question. Isagi screwed up her face like Diana's babbling was causing her physical pain. Something even greater than truth. More powerful.
I think people want to use the game.
Isagi glanced nervously at a young woman lying behind her. Give me a second. Diana closed her eyes. There was something important lurking at the edge here. Place it clearly needed for single moves or whatever she was planning. But she was willing to use the other sense as well. Why would that be? Yasuko! In her closed-eye concentration, Diana hadn't even noticed that the waiting young woman had her hand on Usagi's arm. Usagi grew very pale, lips blue, and her eyes unfocused as the girl's hand snaked towards her brooch. But Mamoru had noticed even across the room. He was upon the woman in a second, yanking forcefully away from his girlfriend. Usagi stumbled technically, her eyes rolling up to her head, but Mamoru caught her gently and checked her pulse with 2 fingers. She's alive! He breathed and then snapped at Diana. Hold her, please. Diana took her quickly, feeling Usagi's cold, climbing forehead, and taking the read of her heartbeat. She didn't seem to be in immediate danger, but she was definitely ill. Mamoru, what's wrong? Otoki ran towards him, but Mamoru barked, Stay back, it's dangerous! Steve took out his gun. causing a panic around him. Motoki gasped, "That's illegal! How did you even get that to Japan?" Mamoru had a vice-like grip on the waist of Usagi's assailant. "What did you do to her?" The girl responded with a kick. Mamoru let her roll out of the way. Was trying to be fair with his flying as her foot sliced through the console instead of him, reducing it to rumble. "She has super strength," Steve cried. Fire shot her. Dismantling everyone in the arcade cleared out in a mad stampede, including the girl. Mamoru barreled after her, with Steve and Diana carrying Usagi close behind. "Motoki!" Mamoru snapped at his friend as he passed him. "Stay inside. I'll handle this, okay?" "All right. Good work, Yoma." Of course he knew, Mamoru muttered to himself. Then when they were outside, Mamoru's rather fashion-like backward jacket and pants had become an evening suit and cape in the blink of an eye. A rose appeared and speared the running girl on the shoulder. As he fell down, Diana used the opportunity to pin her with the lasso. "What did you do?" Tuxedo demanded as Steve leveled his gun at her. "Tried to infect her. Didn't take. Guess that's her power. Sucked her dry of energy, though. You're just giving me a second, I could have killed her." "How do we heal her?" Mamoru grabbed the girl's collar. "Don't know, but she'll probably recover on her own, being such a special little snowflake." What do you mean by infect?" Diana cut Mamoru off. "Don't know. Just what Poison told me to do." "So Poison infected you?" "Yeah. She made me see the truth about you. You treacherous, lying. You were reaching for Yasagi-chan's brooch. Why?" "The silver crystal, duh." "How do you know about that?" Mamoru snarled. "Poison told me. She told me your crystal's not bad either." The girl smiled gravely. Diana could hear them. Even from far away, hordes of possessed women and shadow creatures were approaching from all sides. "Chiba-san!" Mamoru started and looked at Diana. "Please take Steve and Usagi-chan and leave." "Hey, I heard my name in that." Steve frowned. "You're telling him to take me and leave, aren't you? God, you're predictable. There's no reason I shouldn't stay." Mamoru frowned as Diana handed him his unconscious girlfriend. "I can't leave you alone to fight either." Diana smiled. "Guns as always, Sir Tuxedo Common. But you know that protecting her comes first. She needs you." She switched to English. "Steve, you as well. You know I could take care of myself, but this girl's not well at the moment. She needs as much help as she can get. Please help this boy help her. She loves you like you love Etta." "I speak English, you know," Mamoru said, providing with a heavy accent. "I know. I didn't say anything incorrect, did I?" "No, but that's a personal thing." "You sure didn't act like you understood English when I tried to talk to you," Steve interjected angrily. "Because fight later, leave now," Diana commanded. "Okay, I'll do it," Steve grumbled. "But for a sweet little girl, not the stuck-up Batman knockoff." "I just said I spoke English, and I'm not. Go!" Diane ordered. At that point, they should just turn into little kids and go,
Yes, Miss Diana, we're sorry.
Mamoru and Steve turned heavily on their heels. But 1 second later, Mamoru had thrown Yasaki back into Diana's arms again. A black shadow that looked like it was made of the same substance as the creatures Diana had been fighting sank from the tied-up girl's arm, targeting the prone Yasaki. But Mamoru acted so quickly, Diana could have called her adrenaline and dust super speed. He threw Yasaki at Diana, and the shadow struck his chest instead. He fell to his knees. "Oh!"
Oh, too bad,
The girl purred.
Well, like I said, she's interested in your crystal, too.
Steve shot at the shadow, but had no effect. He turned the gun towards the girl's head. "No! She's possessed!" Diana and Mamoru said together.
Besides, if either one of you heroes make the move, this man will die just as fast as I can think.
She clawed her hand slightly, and Mamoru gasped like she had squeezed his heart, which he probably had. His chest was glowing.
Got you by the starseed, buddy.
The girl's face contorted a little, and her jaw unhinged like a woman's dummy. Poison's voice came out of her mouth.
Good job, Mio-chan. I knew you were an excellent recruit, but you performed well beyond my expectations.
It was true, Diana thought. She wasn't mindless like the others, not overwhelmed by her hate, not hurting herself. Whatever Dr. Poison was doing, it was getting more sophisticated. She was refining the experiment.
I couldn't get to Sailor Moon, though, Mio said sadly in a normal voice.
That's all right. Dr. Poison spoke to her again. He's enough. Mamoru finally let out a scream when Mio closed her fist to pump it in victory. The noise made Yusagi stir in Diana's arms.
Mamo-chan?
Girl, Mio's grin exactly mirrored Dr. Poison's rictus as he talked in the woman's voice again.
Yes, if we take this now, Sailor Moon and Sun will come after us anyway. Especially since she knows I have all their friends as well. So nice of them to deliver themselves. Nani?
Yusagi was stirring more furiously now, but seemed wasn't strong to lift her herself, no matter how hard she tried. Poison, I know what you're planning, and I will stop you, Diana declared.
By all means, come see me, Wonder Woman.
Poison said.
I'm counting on it.
No, protect Yusako, Mamoru gasped. Protect her, please. Don't worry about me. Hey, is this a Sailor Moon fanfic where Mamoru actually gets captured? It's been so long.
Let Mio-chan out of the lasso, or he dies here,
Poison said to her acolyte. Diana reluctantly obeyed, though Steve kept his gun trained on Mio. But as soon as the lasso unraveled, Mio began to fade away, and so did Mamoru. Steve reflexively grabbed Mamoru's arm and began to fade with them. Steve! Diana cried. I'll stick with him! Steve cried back. I'll make sure he doesn't kill any of them before you two get there. I trust you. So hurry, Diana. And they were gone.
Mamo-chan!
Yusagi finally managed to wrest herself from Diana's arms. She jumped to the ground, but stumbled and fell to her knees upon landing.
Mamo-chan? Mina?
I'm so sorry, Yusagi-chan, Diana said. I'll get this far because I allowed Poison to rattle me. It cuts me off guard. She set her jaw, but they will save them all. We will, together. Yusagi took it and allowed herself to be pulled to her feet, shaking her head.
I don't blame you at all.
She looked at the shadowy creatures and possessed women, now pressing them from all her sides.
Because I know what power Dr. Poison's using. What changed these people? It's chaos.
She pointed to a black shadow creature.
I recognized it. I released it back into everyone's hearts and minds. So this is my fault.
So here's an idea. Diana turned her guard back into that Wonder Woman's little flick of her lasso. How about instead of musically blaming ourselves, we blame Poison? After we defeat these creatures, you can explain to me what chaos is, and use that knowledge to stop her. It saved everyone. Yusagi gave the smallest smile.
All right.
She stood beside Diana, facing the horde. She thrust her hand high into the air. Cue badass transformation sequence.